Hello, good morning, afternoon, good Saturday if you're watching this on recording. I hope you enjoyed the double dose of our intro music. It's starting to get pretty catchy. My name is Jason. I'm part of the product management team at ConnectWise. Thank you guys for joining our Mastering RMM series. We've got a special guest today, Rob, who's part of our education team, training consultant team, who's going to go through setting up for Microsoft Defender for Business integrations into ASIO, which is both RMM, but security and a couple of other areas. Just as a reminder, like usual for these, please put your comments in chat and we'll do our best to answer them in line. But really, as every week, Thursday is the big webinar series where we'll focus on this. Tomorrow we'll focus on this and the Intune session from yesterday, just general Microsoft integrations. We'll talk about Azure integrations for cloud monitoring. But come tomorrow with all of your questions. And we'll be happy to answer those. We're going to likely be switching up this format a little bit over the next month as we start bringing other product areas into this series. And so it'll be really more mastering ConnectWise rather than just mastering RMM. We'll give some more details of that over the next week as we start bringing in PSA and other products into this series. But for now, Rob, please take it away. Let's talk about Microsoft Defender for Business.
All right. Thank you, Jason. As Jason said, I'm Rob DeBach. Been with ConnectWise here for 10 years now through various roles. For the past 3 years, I've kind of been immersed in our cybersecurity, looking the ins and outs in that. So today I want to go over the Microsoft Defender integration for RMM and ASIO and why it really matters for anyone using the RMM packages, right? So to begin, as any RMM user, you should be familiar with the integrations that are available to you in ASIO. These various integrations can help with various tasks across RMM and across the IT help desks, or in even just reporting from other products you may be using, right? And so two examples maybe are backups and, of course, today, security, which is what I'm going to speak about, right? And specifically with security integration, we're going to talk about that Microsoft Defender for Business integrations. And RMM plays a role in the onboarding of Defender for Business and also in gaining visibility into the platform data of Microsoft Defender. Integration is actually an easy task. After clicking on the Defender icon, so back in the program here, oh, I'm sorry. Let me quickly adjust this. I see that one of my images is not showing correctly. Not this one. Let me just go ahead here for a second. Log in. Let's hide this for now. All right. So we're starting in the ASIO platform. We would go to our settings, and of course, we explore integrations in the marketplace. From here, we can click on the Microsoft Defender pod from here and begin this, right? It's going to then load a wizard for us to then provide a name. So with that one, we would then go ahead and go into this Defender, click Integrate. And from there, all we need to do then is give a name to this connection. Like I said, it's a pretty easy affair. We're going to give a name to this connection, and then we're going to click on Generate Token. And what Generate Token is going to do is it's going to log us into Microsoft, right? It's going to take us to the login portal for Microsoft Defender. We're going to get a whole list of permissions that are needed for this grant so that you know exactly what we're doing when we're creating this connection between ASIO. But once this connection is made, we then can move into our site mapping, right? So let's take a look at that. Okay, maybe I did not get that one in there. Where is it at? There it is. So in our site mapping, once again, once we've got that connection made that we've talked about, we've generated that token, then we can go ahead and pick our ASIO sites and we'll match them up with any of these sites in the Microsoft platform. And once we've done that, we just save and proceed. So like I said, integrating is a fairly easy affair to put it into ASIO. The next step in that is going to be onboarding those. But before we go that, what is Defender for Business and why should we worry about it? Microsoft's foray into the world of EDR is what Defender for Business is, right? EDR, if nobody is aware, takes traditional AV and pretty much injects it with steroids. EDR uses things like machine learning and AI to observe behaviors on an endpoint in real time, right? It's not just simply relying on a big list of signatures that may be known, right? It identifies anomalies and can react to them. So it can actually react to the unknown, unlike traditional AV, because it's looking at the behaviors on that endpoint. For example, should a Word doc actually be opening up PowerShell? For most purposes, I would say that that's probably a very weird situation. So we can stop this and we can analyze it and see what it does, and then take action on allowing or denying that, right? And this is where EDR is also more in traditional AV, and the fact that it should have some kind of analyst behind it as well, because it will stop these actions, and then it will have an analyst that reviews these, right? So that's kind of what an EDR is. It's alerting us to more suspicious behavior than simply analyzing a long list of known viruses or backdoors that it may need. So Defender for Business is provided by Microsoft as either a standalone product, or more importantly, it's probably, or it will be bundled up in Microsoft 365 premium subs. So this means that some of your clients may already have access to this utility or using it, right? So it's one of the 3 EDR platforms that ConnectWise will accept to integrate with our SOC. So this kind of gives you that way of getting your foot into the door on getting MDR services into these clients, right? So for those clients that do have Defender for Business, you can move them to the MDR by adding the SOC services of ConnectWise to their existing Defender licenses. And then this will give them a truly managed endpoint security solution. With over 160 analysts behind any of these alerts coming through, there will always be somebody at the helm to review any of these suspicious behaviors and take actions on them, such as isolating that particular endpoint from the network so that it can't infect the rest of the network, then rolling that particular machine back if needed, or performing any mitigation actions on it. So once again, Microsoft Defender for Business is one of those EDRs that we do work with for our MDR. And it's, once again, one of those where you can go out to your clients, you can find out the clients that already have access to Defender for Business, or who may be interested in Defender for Business, and then give them the SOC services to go behind that so they can be truly secured across their endpoints. Now, there are a few requirements to meet before moving a partner to MDR. For one, ASIO is one of the obvious ones, right? But since you're already RMM users, then this particular requirement is already met. The other obvious requirement is either the standalone Defender for Business or the Defender for Endpoint P2, which could be under a couple of different bundled licenses, right? So those are the 2 that we work with, the Defender for Business standalone product, or any of the Defender for Endpoint P2s that are bundled in licenses for Microsoft 365. Now, importantly, we do not sell these licenses, but we can certainly help you in finding those distributors and working with you to get the correct distributor for you. Prior to SOC onboarding, you will need to have Defender configured and endpoints onboarded prior to onboarding the client into the MDR services. So this is where RMM is going to help with that onboarding task, right? That's requirement, of course, is access to the target Microsoft tenant for that client. Most likely already they are under your tenant. You are managing that for them. So that access should be there already, right? So if we're managing that, we'll have that access. And RMM is what's going to help us with that one primary requirement of making sure that we've got the Defender for Business actually onboarded across all our endpoints before we engage with the SOC. And we've got it configured for whatever we need, right? So we're going to take a quick look at that in RMM and what it looks like. So we've looked at the integration already. We've got the integration in there. To satisfy the onboarding requirement, we're first going to start in the settings of Microsoft Defender itself, right? We'll have to go into that portal. We'll go into the settings, and we're looking for onboarding in that settings section. When you get to the onboarding section, this is where you can pick out what platform you want to be onboarding across, whether it's Windows 7, Linux, Mac, Windows 10, whatever it may be. This is what we're going to choose here in the onboarding section. And then we're going to choose local script right down here. You can see at the bottom for that deployment type, it's going to be local script. So we would choose that. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a download from Microsoft that has a command line batch script for it, basically, right? And we're going to take this now batch script, and we're going to plug this into a task within our RMM, right? So we'll go to tasks, we'll choose batch script, and then we're just going to go ahead and copy and paste that file that we had gotten from the Microsoft Defender portal. We're going to go ahead and throw that into a task for us, name it, of course, and save that. And then from there, what we've got to do, just like anything else, is we're going to schedule that out. So we'll create a schedule for the Microsoft Defender for Business, put in its short description in there. Of course, your category is going to be security, and then we can schedule this or just run this now at this point, right? We can choose to target this at a device group if we need to. Probably one of the easiest ways to go about doing that. And then that's going to help us get all of those agents onboarded out there. So that's the main thing, just like with RMM. And this is the same for just about any other EDR platform you can use crossed with ASIO and RMM, is we can go ahead and onboard those agents and get those deployed out. Once we've got that, the other benefit now, of course, as I said, is insights, right? We're looking for insights into there. Once we've done that, what do we get out of it? So once we have Defender onboarded, we can review the MDB dashboard, which is Microsoft Defender for Business dashboard. This will be under security, under the security section. And it displays important data, such as the number of tickets created, the status of those tickets, and the agent health of each of those sites, right? So this is one of the first ones you get specifically for Microsoft Defender for Business, is you're going to get these insights into the platform, right? We're going to be able to see exposure levels across our endpoints here, the health status of them, and any other risk scores if we've enacted the default vulnerability management within Microsoft Defender, and we're using that particular field, we'll get those risk scores in here as well. So once again, a very good dashboard look to see if we've got anything going on in here and what the ticket statuses are for Defender specifically. Then moving on, we have key metrics, which you'll get when you're using MDR with the SOC platform. This is going to give you a larger insight into what the SOC is doing specifically. This isn't just with Defender for Business specifically, but the MDR. Obviously, if you were using Business for Defender, these are the numbers you're going to get into here. So once again, a myriad of data we can pull from this, right? Average overall ticket lifespans in here, partner to SOC idle times, first responses going on, alert reduction factors. So once again, we're getting an insight into that platform and what the SOC is doing for us so that we can feed that into there. There's also a SOC Hero report, which is one that you can share with your clients. It gives a rundown of just what the SOC has done, more specifically, as far as tickets and the escalations in there. So you can just give them an overview of what happens. This is a more detailed report that's given to you on the ASIO platform once you've integrated all of this. So once again, it's an easy affair. What is Defender going to do for you? It's going to help you onboard that, and then it's going to give you a lot of insight and data into those platforms. And that's going to give you that stepping stone. So we want to integrate that first, onboard those security endpoints for Defender. And then we want to go to our client and we want to try talking to them about upping that game up on that security for the endpoint, right? Let's get some analysts behind there, because I'm pretty sure that they don't have their own analysts behind there. And it's much better to just offload those to the SOC. The SOC is going to handle over 90% of those initializations and those alerts that come in from the MDR or the EDR, I should say, from Microsoft Defender. So they're going to be handling most of those tickets. Like I said, they'll do any of the VM stuff they'll need to take. If they have a particular anomaly, they can expose that in a VM, find out what's going on in it, and put that. So you get a better secure endpoint in here, because once again, EDR technologies are great, but you should have somebody behind that looking at those EDR platforms, seeing that data coming in. So we're going to go ahead and just discuss a few more things before we leave here. Okay, I was just checking the chat really quick here, see if there was anything. But that in a nutshell is going to be Microsoft Defender for Business within the ASIO platform. For more information or to review anything that we have gone over today, definitely check out the documentation. The ASIO documentation has Microsoft for Defender for Business in there. And this will run you through the entire Getting Started guide and any other deep dives that you need for that when it comes to the Defender for Business and how it relates to ASIO. This is also a platform that we're currently still evolving on, so expect a little bit more to come through this as we start evolving more. With the Microsoft partnership, which is one of the differentiators that we have, is our relationship with Microsoft in this. They don't traditionally work with an MSP vendor at this level, but they are working with us for these tight integrations to bring in for our MSP partners. So that is one of the differentiating factors that we have with our MDR versus a couple of other MDRs out there. Definitely take out the documentation. Also, if you want to learn more about MDR in general and the myriad of ways you can have it sliced and diced through the ConnectWise ASIO platform, then definitely join me on August. I will be running through everything you need to know about ConnectWise MDR, right? And the SOC, what exactly it does, some of the numbers in there for you, what it means for you, all the EDR technologies that we have behind it that you can choose from and the different ways that they are licensed. And which is why it's called Have It Your Way. So once again, join me if you just need to know a little bit more about cybersecurity MDR itself. Also, I don't have a slide for this, but don't forget to join us tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock, as we wrap up. As Jason said in the beginning here, we wrap up everything that we've discussed for this and kind of get a deeper dive into all that, right? With that said, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me and go ahead and open it up for any questions or comments we might have at this time. I'm not seeing any in there at the time. But thank you for joining us.